What is going on, you guys? It's Blaze over here at the Blue Chip, oh boy, I can't even talk, Athletic Club podcast. It is September the 22nd, and I'm Gone Steel here in, I'll call it remote, Wichita Falls, Texas. Just finished up a little outdoor workout. I'm on day 73 of 75 for 75 harder. Doing the full 75 hard challenge and then adding in no social media for the full 75 days. Today, I want to talk to the people in particular that don't like running or any sort of, we'll call zone 2 or cardio training, whatever you kind of want to fill in the blank, where it's an activity that's relatively monotonous, whether it's long efforts or low intensity. I'm right there with you. I think there's a special type of crazy. Sorry if this is you, that decides that you like to get up and just run slow for 2 hours in the morning and then get on with your day. I think that makes you a special type of crazy, because I'm not that person. I don't understand those people, but currently I'm training for the HYROX Race in Phoenix, with my business coach Dave DiLorenzo, which, if you listen to this, you better be out there training because you signed up whether you know it or not. But we talk about, like, hey, how do you have a sustained, we'll call zone 2 effort or low intensity run, and keep yourself engaged? Well, there's the obvious ways, or I call maybe not so obvious, the traditional ways of, hey, you listen to some music for 45 minutes. Maybe you're a podcast person, and that kind of works for you. There's a bunch of ways to skin the cat, if you will. A couple of ways that I've tried to incorporate over the past couple of months in training for this race, because for those of you that haven't competed in a HYROX race, it is a running race. Anybody who says otherwise has probably not done it before. You are running most of the time. The people that are most successful are good at the run, and it's definitely something that's critical for you to be successful in the race, is a good runner. So obviously, that's something that I'm trying to work on, trying to improve so that I can, perform better at the race. We're not out there to set any sort of world records, but definitely am out there to kind of compete against myself and become better. And in doing that, you have to train it. It'd be like, if I never ran in my training, how could I expect to be good in practice at the race? I feel like that's pretty obvious. So what have I tried to do? My slow runs, which I guess we'll go on a quick tangent. The counterintuitive part of running is that every time you run, you don't go out there and try to run full speed for however long your interval is. So let's say, for example, if your coach or whomever wrote you a run, a 30-minute run or a 20-minute run or whatever your thing is, the goal isn't always necessarily to go out and run like a bat out of hell for that full time and then have to either run further in that time distance or have a faster mile time or whatever. Ironically enough, most of the time that you're training for running, you actually should be training at a lower intensity, and not even super long efforts, which kind of breaks my brain. My gorilla, hey, lift more weights, get stronger brain, run faster, get faster brain kind of just doesn't compute. But I'll tell you, since adopting it, it's been incredibly helpful. The problem for me personally is that when I'm running slow and I'm not pushing myself in the effort and in the training program, what I find is that my brain wanders and I get pretty bored. I don't know if you guys are the same way. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. But like just sitting there doing your, I'll call zone 2, low heart rate work. For some of us, maybe that's a fast walk or a slow jog. My brain, my my brain needs more stimulus, for better or for worse. So how have I been doing it recently? Well, there's a couple ways that I feel like it's been helpful. I'll tune in to a podcast. I feel like that's kind of low-hanging fruit, relatively easy. Definitely would not be listening to my own. I feel like it'd be kind of awkward, but I listen to some people that are smarter than me talk about a topic that is intellectually stimulating, and also not like super high-paced usually, because what that's doing is just helping kind of me down regulate and stay in that kind of lower intensity state for a longer period of time, which I tend to have a hard time doing when I'm doing long sustained efforts. So that's one way. Obviously the music is a second way, but what I want to talk about is these two other unique ways that I've kind of found recently be kind of successful and helpful. And one of them is the ball run. So my wife and a lot of other people I know call me a golden retriever, a bit of a social butterfly, kind of similar to that of a golden retriever. And I like to play, I guess, anything. And that ball sports is no different. Basketball, football, soccer, you name it. If it's got a ball in a team sport, I'm all in. So what I found is that if I take a ball with me, I typically bring a lacrosse ball because I got a plethora of those from playing in school, and I'll bounce it and I'll run really slow. It keeps my brain engaged long enough to keep doing the effort, and also will help me kind of regulate my speed. Because if you're bouncing the ball super fast, you'll probably end up dropping it a bunch. So I'll do like a slow run where I'll essentially just bounce the ball over and over and over and over again. And eventually I finish my time, distance, goal, whatever the thing is, and do that. So that's one way. The other way, which I just kind of tested this morning, is that I turned some music on, and for me, today the music of choice was that like 2000s rap hip hop era. That's like the absolute, in my opinion, the bangers of music. You know, it's just after the 90s hip hop era, which I think I've got a really fond connection to, you know, Notorious and Tupac and all those guys, but I'll call it like the early Drake, the Lil Wayne era. If any of you guys are in your upper 20s or mid to low 30s, you probably can relate with what I'm saying. And I just put on like the absolute gassers from that era. And what I did is I set my interval timer, which you guys can download kind of any style of them that you want. Basically, it's just going to give you an interval and a rest time and a number of rounds. And that's kind of all you need. It's pretty basic. And what I did is I set it for 45 seconds where I just kind of ran straight at whatever my pace was. But then after that 45 seconds, I did 15 seconds of like anything but running. So for me today, it was, you know, back shuffling, dancing, Euro stepping with a fake basketball, you name it, kind of just finding a way to move dynamically that was not just a straight ahead run. And ironically enough, my total run pace was relatively fast the whole time. In my brain, I was engaged the whole time because I wasn't just running straight ahead over and over and over again. I was backpedaling, I was side shuffling, I was Euro stepping, I was dancing, I was throwing my hands up in the air. So I don't know what it is, but for my gorilla slash golden retriever slash whatever brain you want to call it, it was enough to keep me way more engaged in the run. And I'll tell you what, my pace for the day didn't even suffer a ton. So it's definitely something that I think moving forward I'm going to continue to incorporate, just because it allows me to be a little bit freer, which is the way I like to train anyway. I like to say, if you're not having fun when you're training, then what are you doing it for? So that is kind of, in a nutshell, what I wanted to talk about today. And we've kind of hit our about 10-minute window that I like to have for these episodes. So thank you guys for tuning in. As always, throw us a 5-star. We're really excited to continue delivering these, you know, little bite-sized podcast episodes to you guys, as well as more full-length episodes as we kind of get our studio set up And be on the lookout for our 50 Days of Fitness that's dropping in the middle of November. Signups will open up for that soon. Basically, it's going to be 50 days of trainings that are going to be written for you, with a bunch of other nutritional habits, a way to kick off or cap off your 2025 and roll into 2026 with a ton of momentum. So that's all I got for you guys. And remember, you don't stop playing because you get old. You get old because you stop playing. See you next time.